With my ungodly amount of hours in the VR shooter Pavlov, I found the lobby between games to be a bit lacking. Everyone just stares at a flat settings panel, essentially in a VC. I really want to make a nice place for banter and trash talk with physical presence like you're hanging out in VR chat or something. As I mentioned in my last video, I think a tavern map with map voting and proximity chat would be super cool. There's a bit of a problem though. I don't have a voice chat system, and I'm making my game with Python in my own engine where there isn't any pre-built software for me to use for proximity chat. I've got to make my own proximity chat system, from reading bytes out of the microphone to feeding bytes into an audio buffer, including placing the sound into the world, audio streaming over the internet, and audio device settings. But first, let's set up the location for all this banter and trash talk, the tavern. I've modeled a bunch of decorations in Blockbench, a tool originally made for making Minecraft mods. I've got a barrel, a bed, lantern, mug, very important, that's how you know it's a tavern, pillar, potted plant, stool, table, support arch, and rails. The textures can be packed into one atlas texture, which reduces the draw calls that I need in Python. I actually made a level editor for the game, which will be available to users to make custom maps with, but I'll be using that to make the tavern map. Alright, here's the initial version of the map. I got lazy and didn't finish all the terrain around the map, but it's good enough for now. Let's hop in the game and see how it looks. Ooh. Having these decor objects goes a long way to making it look better. It's quite dark though, so I'll need to make these lanterns light sources. There isn't any light source system since the game just uses one shadow map for outdoor lighting, so I'll have to add it. I just place lighting parameters along with each of the lanterns and collect them when I render. Light sources are expensive since every pixel rendered has to check every light source to see if it's lit. I can multiply the view matrix through all of them to check which ones may be visible and use them for rendering so I can reduce the total light count. On the other end, I've reduced the number of pixels by switching the entire render pipeline to a deferred rendering system where geometry and textures are rendered first. Then I can do a second render pass just on the visible pixels and apply lighting. It works by rendering all of the relevant pixel data to different outputs on the first render pass, such as the positions, normals, and texture colors. This also makes it easy to add other effects like screen space ambient occlusion, aka SSAO. To explain SSAO, let's take a look at my wall. You see how the corner isn't hidden from the light source, but there's a line of darkness down it? That's ambient occlusion. Simply put, it's less likely for the light to bounce in and out of that corner since it's, a corner. It can be implemented in screen space by looking at the positions and normals of neighboring pixels. Typically the pixels in front by a fair bit, but not a lot, would prevent light getting to the pixel we're looking at. It's a subtle effect, but it helps a lot with depth perception and visual clarity when colors and geometry aren't enough. Alright, one last step to get this tavern ready for proximity chat. I need colliders for the decor. Currently, only blocks have physics. I can't be bothered to write a full physics engine for complex geometry, so I'll cheat and make an axis-aligned bounding box, aka AABB physics system, where all the physics just use boxes without rotation. It effectively uses the same underlying math as the block physics, and I have a video on that topic. I just have to define the bounding boxes for the different objects. For example, the table has 4 legs and a top. Then I can store the colliders in the chunk data map for quick lookup, and boom, decor physics. Okay, now for the main event, proximity chat.
Hey, wait, no, I'm gonna cut some cheese. Listen, it's fine. It's fine.
Proximity chat is a bit harder than regular voice chat since it makes use of spatial audio. I already have a spatial audio system, so it should be easy, right? To test, I just have to record audio from my microphone and play it back in OpenAL using an audio source placed in the world. First step, select an audio device and record some audio data. With PyAudio, that's actually super easy. Done. Raw PCM audio data straight from my microphone. Now we just play that data into an OpenAL audio source so we can hear it as spatial audio. It appears the Python bindings for OpenAL only support sources using data from audio files. There is a stream source, but it just reads data from OGG files and streams that. I guess I gotta do it myself. Alright, I've made a feedable stream source object that lets me feed binary audio data straight into an OpenAL object, with all the audio buffers for the stream being managed by my code under the hood. Now I can set up a quick demo with my abstractions and test the playback out. Just initiate the sounds object, place a listener, basically the ear, declare a feedable audio source, add a callback to hook the microphone feed up to the playback, add device selection, and run a loop that moves the audio source, and we're done.
Wee woo. Wee woo. It's echoing back just fine.
I don't know what it is, but something about simplifying hundreds of lines of code for easy use like this demo is so satisfying. This is just playing back audio spatially on my machine though. Now I need to stream it over the internet. Thankfully, my networking framework should make this the easy part. I've made a soundshare object with one field for the audio data. Then I just have to update the object with the microphone callback and write a hook for other users to feed the data into the streamed object whenever the field is updated. This works quite well.
Alright, so this is my voice networking running through ShawNet. It's got spatial connect. It's fairly compressed. I'm recording it from my laptop here. You can tell from the scratching there. And it's going to my desktop here where I'm just recording the desktop audio playing back through the application. It's going through my server that's like hundreds of miles away, and it sounds pretty decent.
Only two issues. One, I need to add a little bit of a buffer so that the network jitter doesn't cause audio jitter. I may have to make this dynamically sized later. And two, I need audio compression because this is way too much data to be streaming over the server. For each person talking, the server has to send their data to all the other players if they're in range. If you have a lobby of 20 people talking to everyone else, you get 20 times 19, which is 380 streams sent out by the server. Multiply that by 12,000 audio samples per second, and we get nearly 5 million audio samples per second, which is a bit too much for my $10 Python server to handle. Instead, we can compress the audio before it's sent and decompress it when it's received by other users using the Opus encoder, which is the same encoder that's often used in OGG files. The compression gets the stream down to 9 kilobits per second outbound from each client, which is pretty solid. It's actually super easy to integrate into the game now. Just add the net object for the voice chat, add the hooks between the microphone network object and stream sources in the game's world, and I'm pretty much done. I've added a setting for audio input devices that measures the decibels of your input as a green line so you can see if you have the right microphone, and I added a gain setting to go along with it.
Yo. Okay, is this...
There we go. That's a lot better.
I could have just switched my gain in my computer.
While the tavern, new graphics features, and proximity chat took a lot of work, it's not a ton of content for playtests, so I threw together a sandbox TDM game mode with full building and terrain destruction enabled and added a porter for Minecraft maps to the maps for my game so I can have some fun on the maps I used to play 10 years ago in Minecraft. Oh, and I also added potions because why not chug a potion and chuck a flashbang at your enemies?
I see your hand out there.
You do? What are you gonna do about it?
I can do this.
Oh god. Yeah, and then...
Ooh. There you are. I appear to be a bit stuck. It's a bit of a tough angle to mine at. Oh no. No. Ah. My tunnel's been found.
No, no. You know, it's not fair.
I didn't throw it hard enough. Hello. Hmm. Oh.
It hasn't been caught yet. I think below it, and it's easier to see because it's really hard.
But
to
you
find
should
the
know.
guns. I mean,
Oh.
fair, but like,
I have a fort. Oh.
I don't know why. It should be in the post. Like, it should be like a throwables tab
What?
instead of the helmet. Like the grenade should be in the potions tab or whatever.
Well, potions aren't throwable. It was just kind of the equipment section. I might move that around though.
Because I feel like this is a throwable item because you could throw it. See?
Am I gonna make splash potions or something?
That's what I thought it was.
Potion
when I
of
saw it. I
harmony,
thought
or
it was
are
a
you like?
splash potion?
Force height.
No, I don't have my arms. I don't try to lift it.
What are you doing in there? Ooh. Truce ends in 3, 2, 1.
No! No, he got 6 kills. We got 18. So I think.
Oh, okay, that's plenty.
Wait, are you sure you didn't read that backwards?
What?
No.
I'm pretty sure I had 18.
No. We had 18. You had 6. So I killed
Yeah,
you
that
way
would make
more than
sense.
6
I got killed a
times.
ton.
I killed you guys way more than 6 times.
I don't know.
I feel like I only
Stat
died to you
track.
guys 6 times. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
I feel like I killed you more than 6 times.
Hello. Ooh. Ah.
Hurrah! Oh, or should we shove it on V? A cool line at the front. Flash grenades.
Oh, hello.
Alright, so this has been a huge jump from the last video on my game GunSlaw VR, so what's next? Well, first I need to get more people in playtests, so please join the GunSlaw Discord linked in the description if you've got VR and you're interested in the game. I've also set up a Steam page and I'll be ramping up the marketing soon. The game will be completely free to play too, since it's a passion project. On the development side, I need to add more weapons, game modes, blocks, lots of polish, better server plugin support, weapon skins, and one more goofy feature: ladders and ramps. I kinda want ladders to work like walls in Population 1, where you can physically climb them and throw yourself off of them into the air. A lot of the Minecraft maps I've ported originally had ladders in some spaces, which creates some weird locations since I don't have them right now in the game. Anyways, GunSlaw has been quite an adventure so far. Thanks for watching.